little different than a flow class in that you're probably going to have questions, and it's hard for me to see you on the screen. A lot of you guys are teaching yoga remotely, so you guys know it's hard to see on the screen. So I'll try and keep my eye on the chat if you have a question. But the first thing I want to say before we get started is, if there's anything that feels super painful, like if you put the ball in an area and you just can't breathe and the pain is really overwhelming, take the ball out. That's the first thing. I don't want you to be in any super amount of pain, and you might find that there will be some places that are more tender than others. So just like your yoga practice, listen to your body, since I can't be there to directly interact with you. But hopefully we'll find ways to modify things that feel good for you. So a couple things just before we start about modifying. So if I tell you to put one ball somewhere and that feels too intense, you can stack two balls next to one another, and that will spread the load so it's not as intense. The other thing you can always do is place a blanket over the balls, which will make them a little softer. So I'll try and remember to tell you that in the areas that I think you might feel are more tricky to get into, but I'm trying to keep it pretty easy these first couple of classes so you guys get just the easier parts of your body so you can get used to using the balls. Be curious today. Don't worry about being perfect. I know that's hard for us perfectionists. I know some of you are smiling because you know what that feels like. If I tell you to put the ball in a certain place and it's not quite right, just move up or down or sideways and kind of explore, because you know your body better than I do. So I'm giving you guidelines, but at the end of the day, use your intuition like you would do if you're just kind of giving yourself a shoulder massage. So any questions in the chat before we get started, or are you guys ready to go? No questions. We're all giving me thumbs up. Cool. Thank you. I hate that I have to mute you guys because I would much rather talk to you. All right. So we're going to start with just a little bit of breath work. So just find a comfortable seat and close your eyes. One of the things that I love about using these balls is they are really a great way to help you relax. We want you to just notice how your body feels this morning before we start. Notice your energy level. Notice maybe even your emotional state. I know this week has been emotional for a lot of us. It has been for me. And then just take a couple breaths in and out through your nose. It's nice and easy. Letting the breath be natural. Notice if on the exhales, you can just let the body soften a little bit. We'll use the breath today as we lean in and out of the balls, and maybe you'll find that on your exhales, they'll help you to relax. Just softly open your eyes. We're going to start with the hands because I think they're nice and accessible. So before we do anything, I just want you to take a little bit of movement with your hands. So maybe you open and close your fists, or even make some circles with the wrist. Not really worrying about exactly what you're doing, but just notice how your hands feel as you're taking that movement. And then you can just relax your hands down. We'll start with one ball, and you can have your legs in Sukhasana. You can have them out wide. It's whatever's most comfortable for you. I like to have my legs wide because that's comfortable for me. So we'll start with your right hand, and you're gonna put the center of the palm on the ball. So right about there is gonna rest down on the ball. So I'm gonna scoot back so you can see me. So I'm gonna put the ball down on the mat. Center of the palm is gonna rest down. And then you're just gonna start to lean the shoulders in and out a little bit. So lean the shoulders in so you have a little bit of pressure on that ball, and then lean the shoulders away. So just really intuitively, just rocking forward and back, just starting to notice what that feels like as you put a little bit of weight into that hand. And I like to put my other hand on top, but you don't have to do that. You can try it, see if you like it. So try and find a medium pressure here. So maybe you lean in all the way and then take the weight off and then find something in between. Once you find the medium pressure, just pause there. See if you can relax the palm of the hand and even let the fingers drape and relax. Take an inhale there. Maybe you just close your eyes. Exhale, see if you can soften. One more inhale. Exhale, relax the hand. And then you can lean off the ball. We're just gonna do that same thing a couple more places. So coming to, I'm gonna call this the thumb pad. So right below the thumb at the base of the palm. Same thing, place that thumb pad on the ball. Just start to lean in and out a couple times. So just exploring what it feels like to find medium pressure. That's kind of what we're going for. You can even go light. I'd rather you go light to medium than too much pressure. So once you find the medium, pause with that pressure. Take an inhale. And then exhale, relax. One more inhale. And exhale. And then take the weight off the ball. Last one like this, we're gonna do the pinky pad. So just at the opposite side of the base of the palm. Take that lean in and out. Now that you kind of know what we're doing, we're gonna do it a little faster. So find the medium pressure and pause. Take an inhale. And exhale. One more inhale. And exhale. Now we're gonna start to take a little bit more movement with that ball. So we're gonna take the ball and make a smile from the thumb pad to the pinky pad. So kind of making a U with the ball. Your fingertips will stay resting on the mat. You can start with the ball at the thumb pad, and then you're just gonna rock your hand, base of the palm side to side. So fingertips stay down and you're starting to make that smile with the ball. And you can find medium pressure. I like a little bit lighter on this one, but find what feels good for you. And then notice as you take that ball side to side, do you feel different textures or sensations as you move along the base of the palm? If you ever do any of this at home, if you like this one, I like this one, you could just do it for like 30 or 60 seconds. You don't have to do it for very long. And then we'll take a little rolling with the ball. So we're gonna start at the fingertip. So we'll start with the middle finger, roll from the middle fingertip down to the base of the palm. So we're gonna roll in one direction. So starting at the middle finger, the fingertip, roll the ball down to the base of the palm, and then you're just gonna tap it back. So rolling from fingertip to base of palm and tap back. So just rolling with the pressure in that one direction from fingertip to palm. And this one takes a little bit of getting used to. So if you're like, oh, this feels a little weird, that's okay. I just feel like some of this stuff, it's like being a kid again, which is kind of fun and interesting to explore something. I'm doing my left hand. If you were here last week, it's taken me a long time to do my left hand. It feels really awkward. So if you're left-handed, when you get there, you're gonna know what that feels like. So if you feel good rolling along the center of the palm here, down the middle finger, you can go to the tip of the pointer finger and down, and then roll along each finger, getting a little bit more of the hand. So making your way down to the pinky and maybe back. You guys all look so cute rolling. And then last thing on this hand, you're just going to take a really light scribble, really light pressure all over the hand. So don't think about what you're doing, just move it, whatever feels intuitive and natural. This one I think feels really good too. And then just take a moment to sit upright, let your hands rest wherever is comfortable, close your eyes. And then just notice how the right hand versus the left hand feels. Maybe one hand feels warmer or fuller. Maybe you can't describe it, but you notice a difference between the hands, maybe even all the way up through the forearms, the upper arms, the shoulders, and maybe even the neck. Open your eyes, take some of that same movement we did before we started. So maybe you're opening and closing fist or circling around. Again, noticing, does that right hand feel different? Maybe your range of motion feels different or looser. And then we're going to do the same thing with the left hand. So starting at the center of the palm, we're going to go a little faster here. So moving in and out a couple times, starting to find that medium pressure. Once you find the medium pressure, hold there. See if you can relax the palm and the fingers. Take an inhale and an exhale, relax. One more inhale and exhale. And then move to the thumb pad at the base of the palm. Lean in and out a couple times. Again, finding that medium pressure. Once you find it, hold there. Take 2 breaths in and out through your nose on your own. And then move the ball to the pinky pad. Lean in and out a couple times. Maybe notice that the right hand and the left hand feel different as you do these, and then lean into that medium pressure and take a couple breaths. Maybe you notice your dominant hand feels different. And then starting to make that smiley face with the ball. So take the fingertips down, maybe start at the thumb pad and start to take the hand side to side. So you're making that smiley face along the base of the palm. I just saw, I think it was a cat walk by in the background. I love seeing your pets. Notice if the textures feel the same or different. Maybe you notice in the center of the palm that feels different between or from the pinky pad and the thumb pad. And then we'll start to take that rolling. So from the middle fingertip down to the palm and then tapping back. So only rolling in that one direction from fingertip to palm and then tapping back. So maybe you're on your non-dominant hand. Actually, I found working with people one-on-one and their non-dominant hand, sometimes they do better. Maybe they're focused more, I don't know, not for me. If you feel good in the center, maybe rolling along each finger. And then finally that little scribble, light scribble, just all over the hand, whatever feels nice. And then just leave the ball where it is, take the hands to any place that feels comfortable, close your eyes. And then again, just notice both hands, maybe they feel more similar now, or maybe they still feel a little different. Hands, forearms, all the way up to shoulders or neck. And then maybe you take some movement again with the hands, open and close the fist, or make some circles. Just noticing how that movement feels after spending some time focusing on the hands. I think they're one place that is really overlooked, especially in yoga. We use our hands a lot. All right, now we're gonna move to our feet. We're gonna work on the back side of the body today. So we're gonna work feet up to pelvis to start. So you can come up to standing. And you may wanna use the different ball just to get little equal wear and tear in your balls. Before we get started, you can just place your ball in front of you. Just come to Tadasana. So feet maybe hips distance apart and parallel, and close your eyes. And just notice how the feet feel connecting to the mat. Notice just the energy from the feet all the way up into the legs. And then you can open your eyes. Let's start with the right foot. So you can just put weight into your left foot. You're really gonna have most of your weight over your back foot, your left foot to start. And then you're gonna take the center of your right foot over the ball. So center toes to heel and side to side. So the exact center of your foot is probably gonna be right behind the ball of the foot in the center of the foot. And just like we did with the hand, you're gonna lean in and out a couple times. So you kind of know what we're gonna do here. We've already done it with the hands. So once you find a medium pressure, hold that medium pressure, let the toes and the foot relax. We're just gonna take one breath here. And then shift weight back into your left foot. So you can move that ball right in front of your right heel. So it's gonna come right at the back side of the arch of the foot in front of the heel. Same thing, lean in and out a couple times. Find that medium pressure, pause and take a breath. And then you can keep that medium pressure and just start to take your heel side to side. So the ball is starting to roll along the width of the foot. So cross-fibering the muscles of the foot right in front of the heel. And if you like that, you can stay right there. If you want to try it, you can just move the ball back so it's right underneath the heel and take that same movement of the heel side to side. So the ball of the foot can stay down to help anchor you as you move the heel. And then we'll take that same rolling one direction like we did with the hand. So starting at the tip of the toes, roll down the length of the foot to the heel, and then tap it back. So from the tip of the toes down to the heel and tap back. This one took me a long time to sort of figure out the weight distribution and the pressure and not letting the ball get away from me. So your ball might roll away. Just go grab it. And then if you feel comfortable going down the center of the foot, just like the hand, you can go to the big toe, roll from the tip of the big toe down more towards the inner arch of the heel and make your way along each toe. And then last thing, that really light scribble all over the foot. Again, one of my favorites. I just think it feels nice, especially on my inner arch that seems to be a little tender. And then just let the ball rest out in front of you. Come back to that mountain pose. Look to see if your feet are parallel visually, and then close your eyes. Notice now how the right and the left foot land on the mat. So maybe one foot feels more rooted, maybe the arch feels more elevated, or maybe it feels more connected. But even notice up through the entire leg up to the hip, especially on the right side, how that feels. For me, it feels like we're connected. lengthwise. We'll do the same thing on the second side. So put weight into the right foot. Find the center of the foot. So lengthwise and widthwise. Is that a word, widthwise? I don't know. And then lean in and out. So take a couple leans in and out. Once you find that medium pressure, hold for a breath. And then take the pressure off, lean into your right foot so you can bring that ball back right in front of your heel. So right at the back of the arch of the foot. Keep the ball of the foot down as you take your heel side to side. So that cross fibering across the width of the foot there. And you can stay there, or maybe you take the ball right under the heel, keeping the ball of the foot down and taking that heel side to side. I should have said you could hold on to something if you felt unstable, but you guys look like you're good. And then we'll take that rolling starting at the center. So toe tip down to the heel, rolling in that one direction towards the heel and then just lightly tapping it back. If you like that, maybe you go to the big toe and roll down, making your way through each toe, so you're getting all parts of the foot. Maybe you notice that the inner arch or that outer arch is tender. And then finally, your light scribble. And then you just let that ball go out in front of you, find your parallel feet again. Close your eyes and now notice the feet. Does the connection to the mat feel more similar now? How do the legs feel, even all the way up to the hips? You're welcome to stay right here in mountain pose. If you feel okay without having done any kind of warm up, just coming into a gentle standing forward fold, you could bend your knees, hinge at the hips, come into a really easy Uttanasana. And just take a couple breaths here, noticing the feet, the calves, the hamstrings. Just bring your hands to the mat, bend your knees so you come down to a little squat, and then make your way back to seated. And we're gonna start now on the calves. So you'll just need one ball, and let's start with a block and see how that goes. So thinking of the calf from the ankle to the crease of the knee, can you see me? We're gonna work in the top 2/3 of the calf. So once you get down closer to the heel, it's just not as meaty. So stay up in the top 2/3 is where we're looking for. So you're gonna take the block on the lowest setting, and then the ball is gonna go just a couple inches below the crease of the knee on the block. So I find this one to be a little bit of a tricky one just to find sort of the stability of the leg. So you have the lowest setting on the block, the ball is a couple inches below the knee crease. I know it's really hard to see on the screen, but hopefully you guys here, I'll come up here because I can tell some of you are like, what's going on? So knee crease, ball's gonna go a little down to the meaty portion of the calf, and then it's gonna rest on the block, yeah? So again, let this be intuitive. So if you're like, that doesn't feel quite right in that spot, you can move the ball up or down. Wherever you land, just see if you can let your leg be heavy. And I like to just take my hands back behind me so I can act like I'm lounging. That way I can let my leg relax a little bit. And I know Adrienne knows this because she does body work. We talk about how people's calves are very tender. So if you're feeling tenderness, you're not alone. You might be fine just being still here. If it's too much, place a blanket over the block and see, or over the ball, and you can see how that feels. If you want to try it, you can point and flex your right foot. So just easy movement of that right foot. You can feel the muscles contracting and relaxing underneath that ball, probably. Changes the sensation, probably. And then let the foot relax again. Take another breath here. Take an inhale. And then exhale. And then just move the ball a little closer to the ankle. So you'll take the ball maybe an inch or two closer to the ankle. You're still under the meaty part of the calf. Same thing, just let that leg relax. And then if you want, point and flex the foot. Whew. I found a tender spot. I don't think I'm going to point and flex my foot here. So you have the option to not do something if you don't want to. And then if you're pointing and flexing, relax the foot. Take one more breath here. And then we're going to move the ball one more time. So hopefully you can move it down towards the ankle, like an inch or two, and still be on the top 2/3 of your calf. And you're like, maybe I went too far the first time. Just move the ball around under the meaty part of the calf. Find a place that works for you, and then let the leg soften. If you want to explore that movement of the foot, you can. There are other ways you can work on the calf. I think this is an accessible way, but I think it's a little tricky sometimes to keep my leg from rolling side to side. I think some of you are maybe experiencing that, so that's normal. And then let the foot relax. Take one more breath. And then just remove the prop. So take them to the side and come into Dandasana or staff pose. Notice we've done the feet, now the calf on the right side. Just notice how that's feeling. If you want to just take a gentle forward fold, hinging from the hips, noticing how the right and the left side feel. My right side already feels like looser. Maybe you feel that. And then come back up and we'll do the second side. So maybe you use the other ball just so we get equal wear on the balls. So again, finding the crease of the knee, moving towards the ankle about an inch or two, and letting the ball rest on the block. So you're on that meaty portion of the calf. See if you can let that leg relax. Sometimes you might find as you come into these, like, oh, it's hard to relax in this one. It takes a little time. It might take a couple of breaths, or maybe some days you just can't relax in one position. And maybe you point and flex that foot. That is what is fascinating about our bodies, is every day is different. It's an exploration. And then if you're moving that foot, just let it be soft. Take one more breath with that leg nice and heavy. And then move the ball down towards the ankle, about an inch or two. So we're just kind of inching it down. We're still in the meaty portion there of the calf. Let the leg be heavy. Maybe noticing, does this side feel more or less tender than the other side? Maybe you find higher up is more tender. You can take some movement with that foot. That's something else that I think is interesting about this, is I can notice sensations in my body that I don't find in my yoga practice, because it's just different. You get into maybe some deeper tissue. So you can let the foot relax. And then last one on this calf, so roll down towards the ankle, another inch or two. And again, if you already were there, just find a place that feels good on the meaty part of the calf. Let that leg be heavy. I think learning to relax in this practice is sometimes hard, but a good lesson. And then point and flex the foot. Kind of like restorative practice. If you ever do restorative, that takes practice too. And then let the foot relax, let the leg be heavy. You have one more breath right here. And then you can take your props to the side, come back to your Dandasana, staff pose. If you want, you can gently fold forward and just notice now the legs. Maybe you even notice a difference all the way up to the low back. And then come all the way up. Now we're gonna do the hamstrings. We're just working up the leg here. So take a block on the lowest setting. You're gonna take it under your thigh. It's so hard to see because my map's the same color as everything. I don't know if that's any different. So you want your sit bone or your butt to be on the mat and the block to be under the thigh. So the far end of the block is kind of roughly under my crease of my knee. And then once you have that, take the ball underneath, let's say the middle of the calf. So from the knee crease to the sit bone, the middle between those 2 points. So again, don't worry about being perfect with that. Just find a place where you can let the leg be heavy. And some of you may not feel so much when you do this. If you want to kind of lean your torso forward so you can get a little more weight into the ball, you can explore that. That's not necessary. You don't have to do that. So you decide if you want to be up. You can even have your hands back to have a little less pressure. If you want, you can just gently take your knee and your toes side to side. So kind of like we did in front of the heel, a little cross fibering across the muscle fibers of the hamstring. And then come to stillness, and then if you like, you can just lift the foot, straighten the leg, and then lower the foot down. Just a couple rounds like that. Be feeling the muscle contract and relax. And then let the foot come down. You have one more breath, so maybe again, you lean gently forward if that feels nice. And then bring the weight back up. Now just take your ball towards the crease of your knee about 1 inch or 2. So you don't want to be behind the knee. We're still under the thigh. So maybe a couple inches above the knee crease. And then same thing here. You can lean it forward. You might not find as much sensation here. So you don't always have to find extreme sensation to feel something. So we always think it has to be really deep and painful. And maybe less is more here. So if you're leaning forward, maybe you lean back and take that knee side to side, you got cross fibering. Maybe bring the knee to stillness and lift and lower that foot. Oh, that kind of feels nice right there for me, I like that. And then let the foot relax, take one more breath. Take your props to the side, come back to Dandasana, upright, or maybe hinge forward, Paschimottanasana. Now noticing really the right side and the left side, maybe feeling different since you just worked all the way up into the hamstrings of your right leg. And then come all the way back up, we'll change sides, so maybe you take the other ball, taking that block on the lowest setting underneath the thigh, and then ball halfway between the knee crease and the sit bone. So taking the weight of the leg, letting it relax. I can tell some of you are trying to be perfect. Don't worry about perfect. Just explore and know that your intuition is going to tell you a good spot. And if you want to lean forward, you can lean forward. Maybe it feels better to take the weight back in the hands. Maybe you rock the knee and the foot side to side. I didn't say this earlier, but some of these you might like, and some of them you probably aren't gonna like, and that's okay. I would say the hamstrings, this isn't my favorite one, but I see value in it. Maybe you lift and lower that foot, especially as we just explore the whole backside of the body today. Let the foot relax, let the leg relax. actually prefer to use the foam roller for this one, but I know not everyone has a foam roller, so. And then we'll move it one more time here. So take that ball down a couple inches towards the knee crease. So it's probably a couple inches above the knee crease. Again, you can lean it forward, you can take the weight back, just let the leg be heavy. Maybe the knee and the toes go side to side. Like you guys are just exploring. You already kind of know what feels good and what you like, so that's great. If you like the lift and lower of the foot, you can do that. What I like about this is you can take any of these that you like and just do them on your own. Just let the leg be heavy, let the foot be soft. Now you can take your props out of the way. One last time, Dandasana, maybe Paschimottanasana, folding forward. Take a couple of breaths, just let your body be soft. And then come back upright. I'm so glad I'm friends with all you guys because this one is sort of silly the way that my teacher explains it, but it's the best way to explain it. So we're gonna come to the center of your butt cheek. So imagine that your butt cheek is like a bullseye. The ball is gonna go right in the center of your butt cheek. So we're gonna do both balls at the same time here. So make your way onto your back and just bend your knees like you're gonna be in bridge for your legs. You can have the balls in both hands and then lift the hips and take the balls to the center of the bullseye. So right in the center of your butt cheek and let the hips rest down. So your knees can stay bent. You could straighten the legs all the way out onto the mat and let them relax. If this feels pretty intense, I did it with someone the other day and it was too intense, we put a blanket over the balls. She liked that, so you could try draping a blanket or a towel there. And then once you're there, I want you to contract your glutes. So engage the glutes and then relax. So we'll take that with breath. So on the inhale, engage and contract, like squeeze your butt. And then on the exhale, let the muscles just soften around the balls. Two more like that. Inhale, contract. Exhale, soften. Inhale, contract. And exhale, soften. And then just take a couple more breaths right here. Just noticing how the more you relax, the more the balls will snuggle up. Be getting into some deeper tissue as you relax. And then if your legs are straight, just re-bend them so you can plant your feet, lift your hips, remove the balls and lower your hips back down. Just take a moment there with your legs in bridge set up. Noticing how that one felt for you. Maybe it was a little intense, especially if you're not used to, anything being right there. And then very slowly, just roll off to your side. Make your way up to seated. So now we're going to do a little bit on the upper body. We're going to do the jaw, a little here, and then we'll go from the neck down to the pelvis. So the rest of the backside of the body. But you guys, some of you know I love these, so we're going to do these because I think everyone likes them. So we're going to do the jaw. So starting at the earlobe, just walk your fingertips to the bottom jaw. And we'll do both at the same time here. So you're at the bottom part of your jaw. You can just gently press the fingers in and out, or maybe you take little circles with your fingers. To me, this is really intuitive. This feels nice when I have a headache. I carry a lot of tension here. I think a lot of us do. You can keep moving, or you can start to just put a gentle pressure and then open and close your mouth. So you can feel those muscles moving underneath the fingertips. And then you can just relax your hands down. Let's actually take a couple shoulder rolls. I think that would feel nice. And then opposite direction. And then find the top of your ear, and then you're going to take your fingertips right above the ear. We're going to do both sides again. So crawl the fingertips maybe an inch above the top of your ear and start to open and close your mouth and see if you can feel those muscles moving. If you can't, you may want to walk your fingertips forward a little bit toward your face and open and close the mouth. And just take a couple like that. I feel like the jaw and this muscle, the temporalis, they don't need much. And then just relax your hands down. If your eyes are closed, you can open them. A lot of you guys have done this one with me already. So find your collarbone on your right side. You can just take your hand to do that. And then your sternum right at the center of the rib cage. So you're gonna find where your fingertips meet. And then you can use your left hand to go right on that corner, right underneath your right hand and lateral to your left hand. So you can use fingertips or maybe the base of the palm here. You're gonna press in towards the body and down towards the mat. So you're gonna pin in towards the body and then down towards the mat. So you have to get gentle, medium pressure. You're gonna maintain the pressure as you take your chin up and away. Take an inhale. On the exhale, see if you can relax the jaw and the neck. One more inhale. And exhale. And then just release that, come back up. We'll do the other side. So left hand to collarbone, find the sternum, find where the fingertips meet, and then go right below that corner. Fingertips are base of palm, press in and down, and then look up and away. So I did this in class the other morning, and then I went for a walk, and I noticed my arms felt really light and loose after doing this. It was really interesting. Something so simple. And then come back up. I'm trying to decide, there's so many things I want to do with you guys. Let's do this one because it's a crowd favorite. So take your left hand over your right shoulder. You're gonna use your left fingertips to find your shoulder blade. So you'll probably find bone there. And then walk right above the bone. So you're gonna find muscle, soft tissue. And you wanna stay closer to the spine than not here. So to find where you wanna be, you can lift and lower your right shoulder. And you're looking to feel those muscles underneath the fingertips contract and relax. So you might have to move along there to find that. And then once you find it, just let the shoulder relax. Press the fingertips down towards the mat. And again, you can take your chin up and away, so up and over to your left. This tends to be a tender spot, so maybe you want to stay there. Maybe you want to take some movement with your right arm. So you're going to take your right arm up to a diagonal and then down and across the body. So up and down like that. I could do this one all day, so I should probably, we probably shouldn't do it the rest of class, right? And then come out of that, maybe you take a couple of shoulder rolls and just notice as you do that, the right and the left shoulder, especially as you shrug the shoulders up. So that muscle elevates the shoulder blades, and maybe you find it feels smoother on your right side. And then we'll do the other side. So right fingertips over left shoulder, try and find the bone of the shoulder blade, and then walk above that bone to find the muscle or the soft tissue. And some of you did opposite side, you're doing the other one, so that's good. Press down towards the floor, take the chin up and away. Take a breath there. And maybe take that movement with the arm diagonally up and then down and across. Ah, oh, so good. All right, and then lower all of that down. Maybe take some shoulder rolls again. Notice how the sides feel. I think I lost you for a second. We're shoulder rolling. Yes, there you are. At least I froze. And then let's do this. We're gonna start with both balls between the shoulder blades. So I'm gonna show you this first. I want you to just watch me. So we're gonna start with the balls an inch away from each other, just roughly in the center of the mat. I think this is a little tricky to get into, so it might take you a second. You're gonna roll back, take the balls between the shoulder blades and the spine, and just watch, I'll walk you through it in a second. So right at the top of the shoulder blades, between the shoulder blades and the spine. So we'll do a couple of things here, and then we're just gonna move down the spine with the balls. So I'm gonna press into my feet, lift my hips, roll the balls down to like the middle of the shoulder blades, and then down and down and down. So you have an idea of what's happening. So, and you might want to block in a blanket within reach, because in different regions, you might want something under your head or under your pelvis. So just make sure they're within reach. So once you're on your back, you can just reach for them easily. And then take the blocks in the middle of your mat the balls an inch apart. So start with the balls at the higher part of the shoulder blade, between the shoulder blade and the spine. For me, it's tricky to get into this, but once you get there, it's nice. So this can feel a little intense. I like to have a light folded blanket under my head, so I'm not in as much of a back bend, and it takes a little bit of the pressure off. So you can explore taking something under your head if that feels good. You could also put a blanket over the balls if it's just feeling too intense. Once you're there, take an inhale. And exhale, just see if you can let the balls snuggle up there between the shoulder blades and the spine. Another inhale. And exhale. Maybe this is enough and you want to stay right here. If you want to explore moving your arms, maybe you just reach your arms up towards the ceiling. Maybe you give yourself a gentle hug. Notice how the shoulder blades draw away from each other. Maybe you find a little more space for the balls if you do that. You can take a little bit more movement, maybe opening and closing the arms in and out of that hug. And then bring the arms back to stillness. Take one more breath with the balls right here. And then we're just gonna start to move down. So the balls are gonna move down towards like the middle part of the shoulder blades. So an inch or two down from where they are. If you have a blanket, you might have to move it away from your body. Press into the feet, lift the hips so you can just roll the balls into that position. So they're kind of the middle part of the shoulder blade. And don't worry about being perfect here. We're just moving our way down. Again, just find a place that you feel like you can settle. Take an inhale and an exhale. Maybe you take that same movement with the arms if you liked exploring coming in and out of a hug. And then let the arms be still. Take in one more breath here. And then we'll just move down one more time between the shoulder blades. So press into the feet, lift the hips, bring the balls just to the low part of the shoulder blades, between the shoulder blades and the spine. At this point, I'm gonna lose my blanket, but you don't have to. You could even take a blanket under your hips if you feel like you want a little bit of elevation. And then last time, you can move your arms if you like. I don't personally love it this far down, but you can explore and see if you like it. And then if the arms are moving, let them relax. And we'll just keep moving. So press into the feet, lift the hips, move your body up so the balls roll down. Now they're going to be below your rib cage. Again, you can explore if you need something under your head or under your hips. If you feel like right below the rib cage doesn't feel good, maybe you move down just a little bit. And just take a couple breaths. Maybe ever so gently, you take your knees over to the right, just a couple of inches. So you start to roll a little bit onto the right ball and then move them over to the left. So just a really simple, gentle windshield wiper of the knees. You're not going very far, but notice how you get a little bit of cross fibering across those muscles that run along the length of the spine. And then if you're moving, come back to stillness. Take one more inhale here. And exhale, let it go. And then we'll do one more time. Press into the feet, lift the hips, roll the body up, and let the balls roll down. So they're going to be above the bone of the pelvis there. So just a couple inches down from where you were. And again, just explore to feel what feels most helpful. So try and stay on soft tissue here instead of bone. Don't be scared of being on bone. It's not going to hurt anything, but it probably feels better to be on muscle. You may want a light folded blanket under the pelvis here. And then if you like, a gentle windshield wiper of the knees, just a couple inches side to side. Bring the knees to stillness. Take one more inhale. And an exhale. And then gently press into the feet, lift the hips. Just remove the balls, take them to the side, and let the hips rest down. And just take a couple of breaths here in this position, noticing the muscles along the spine, from the upper part of the shoulder blade down to the top of the pelvis. Maybe you take a gentle hug of both knees towards the chest with a little rock side to side. We didn't do this before, but for me, I feel really open right now with my knees in this position. It feels nice and easy and relaxed. You work the whole backside of the body. Give yourself a final little squeeze here. And then release your legs and come into Shavasana, wherever you'd like to be for the next couple of minutes. And as you settle in, just like we did in the very beginning, notice how you feel right now. You basically just got a massage. Maybe your body feels different. Maybe the quality of your breath feels different. Give yourself this time to let your body and your mind just absorb what you just did. Start to deepen your breath. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. Circle your ankles and your wrists. Reach your arms up by your ears. Give yourself a big stretch. And roll off to your favorite side. Pause there, eyes closed. Press into your top hand. Make your way up to a comfortable seat, eyes closed, hands at the heart. One of the things I love about yoga and this practice in particular is it really gives us a chance to tune into what our bodies are telling us, the time and the space to really listen. And I think that helps us to tune into our own intuition. So I'll leave you with this quote. Awareness is like the sun. When it shines on things, they are transformed. I hope that this gave you a little bit more awareness about your own body, keeps you wanting to explore more. The light in me honors the light in each of you. Namaste.